What is the best way to do a demo call? Well, I will tell you there's a pretty simple technique you can use to demonstrate your SaaS, your software, to potential clients that will really improve your conversion rates. There's also things that probably the majority of you are doing if you're doing demo calls that really hurt your sales. And that's not hyperbole. There are things that people do out of the box that they think or have been told to do that is actually the opposite of what's going to get you sales. So in this video, I walk you through how to do a demo. I give you an actual recording of a demo I did. I break it down and I show you how to replicate and adapt it for your agency. So it's a longer video, it's like 40 to 50 minutes long, but that's because I break apart each process so you can quickly adapt it to your own and start seeing higher conversions and easier sales. If you like this content, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. That way when we roll out other stuff like this, you'll be notified, and enjoy the video. It is about getting clients, selling people. The question should always be, what is the thing that sells the thing? And by the way, that's a question you should ask yourself at every stage of the sales funnel, because as my digital mentor, and I've never met the guy, I really want to before he's getting older, but Gary Bencivenga said, there's always two sales in every sale, right? Selling your opportunity to make the sale that you want to make, right? So there's two sales. And that's what he calls the secret of the monkey fist. And all of us want to get into our businesses and we want to make sales because that means revenue. And revenue to us is the whole reason why we got into this thing in the first place, right? But there's these hurdles in front of us, and most of them are blind hurdles. Or in other words, we're running a race and we're tripping over things that we don't even know are there. But if we jump over them properly, we can win the race. Was that an awesome metaphor that I just gave, Isabel? Like, I just came up with that off the dome. What? So we got to see all the hurdles if we want to get in there and make some money. So who wants to make some money? Yeah. All right, cool. One of the things that you're going to have to be able to do to really make money is be able to present your value proposition. All right. So, full transparency. In order for us to get to the point to where we're going to be able to like demo our software, there's a bunch of things that have to happen before that happens, right? You're not just going to walk out and boom, I get to demo my software every day, because nobody's going to show up, right? So we can talk about that for the remainder of the meeting, but I did want to talk about demos. Here's why. A good demo, right, is basically 2 to 3 minutes of an entire pitch. Now, to a lot of people, that really surprises them. They think the entire pitch is the demo. No. It is not that at all. Why? Why do you guys think that the actual demonstration is basically the climax of the entire movie that we're taking people through? Any ideas why the entire thing is not a demo call? Any ideas? Like, I would love to get some feedback from you guys. Any ideas why we should never make a demo call entirely about the demo? Comments, questions, or I don't know, not questions. Nothing? Nobody brave enough? Nobody brave enough? All right.
You're saying the demo shouldn't be about the demo? I
No,
didn't quite understand the
why
question.
shouldn't, because we call them demo calls. We want to get people on a demo call, which kind of insinuates that the entire call is a demo. Is that how you conduct a winning sales call?
You want to be listening first. You want to really tune into where they're at. If you,
Okay.
you want to lead with questions as much as possible,
Okay.
make them more involved, right?
It's
Okay,
more
yeah.
exploratory, isn't it?
Yeah, we want to explore with them, right?
Some people say you should be talking 5% of the time.
They actually have software now that will gauge how much of the time. So it's software that runs for sales companies, and it will gauge how long the sales associate has been speaking in contrast with the prospect. So yeah, I mean, tactically that is absolutely right. Okay. But the real, there's, and I shouldn't say there's one thing, but there's one big thing. Okay. And it's a phrase that you should remember. And it is, people buy based on emotion. And then they justify, so there's a two-step buying decision here. They justify that purchase with logic. All right. So we go back to Pareto's principle, 80-20. 80% of this call, of this sales call, must be what? Emotional. Emotional. Okay, we'll talk about that in a second. And then 20% should be what? Logical. Now you got to be real careful about logic. You can engage a part of their brain that will turn them into engineers, will turn them into analytic thinkers. You don't want them thinking analytically. You want them thinking logically. There's a difference. There's a nuance, right? You want them to be informed. You don't want to sit there and educate them. Again, there's nuance. There's differences here. All right. So today I'm going to play a video, and then we're going to talk about, by the way, this video it's available in Lead Gen U already. Okay. It's available in MVP. You can see me doing these sales and demo calls the entire time. I'm playing just the demo portion of it, so you can see how I frame the demo and then how I conclude the demo into the actual price proposition. All right. So that's kind of the setup. But I wanted to frame out with you guys here today before you see what the demo is, because the demo should be very basic, very basic. We're getting too analytical. If we're talking about like technical features that we're super excited, you can do remarketing, you can do this, you can do, stop. That's not what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We're going to watch this demo together. And don't forget to share sound. Nailed it. All right, we're going to share desktop one, share. And then okay, you guys should be seeing my screen. Are we good? You seen the video? Okay. Again, this is the full video is available in Lead Gen U. This clip is 3 minutes. So let's go ahead and watch. With my company, with Patient Stream, all you do is you click on approve an ad. Okay. You enter in your daily budget, what are you spending in ads right now?
I think 75 a day.
Well, so you already know. So you put in 75 a day. Real quick, is audio good? Okay, let's go. Okay. And then you click launch campaign.
Okay.
Now, I said at the beginning of this, I was not going to just make claims. I was actually going to show you things. Okay. So I realize when I say that, it's going to come off as, this seems crazy to me. Where's my, there it is. This seems too good to be true. So I'm actually we're going to jump in here, and I'm going to show you how Patient Stream works. All right. So this is where it says launch ads. Can you see my screen?
Can.
Okay. Where it says launch ads, this is what you'll be presented with. Now I could take you through all of these and do all that kind of stuff, but let's just cut to the chase. All right. Assuming I know how to spell neuropathy. There we go. I spelled it once properly. We're just going to go in and put neuropathy in there. I'm going to hit the enter, the search bar. And then here, we're going to find all of these programs, all of these marketing efforts that we can go through and use. Okay. Ooh, and there's even some event marketing ones if you wanted to do a dinner workshop, right? So I can go through all of these. I can see all of these different options and be like, wait a minute. So what you're saying is I can choose this campaign, put in my daily budget, and then whatever your website is, and then hit launch.
Why the website?
Because that's a good question, by the way. After they become a lead, they're going to want to see if you're credible.
Oh, okay.
And so the website you would put here could be either your main website, or it could be if you've written like an article, a blog post about neuropathy, you could put, that /neuropathy, whatever the link is for that.
Okay.
And then you click launch campaign. That's it. So let me just make sure that, because whenever I show people this, I had one guy say, I think it's only easy because you did it. I said, okay. I taught my 10-year-old daughter how to do this in 30 seconds. So you go to, you search whatever you want. You pick the program, which, by the way, if there's too many options, you grab this little chat down here and you say, hey, I want to run some neuropathy ads. Which ones are the best cost right now? And my team will tell you which one.
Okay.
Okay. And when you onboard with us, they're going to help you launch the first one just to show you that it's really easy. Okay. You pick this, you put in your budget, put in your website, launch campaign. That is it.
Wow.
I love the wow conclusion. If you're not getting a wow at the end of an UpHex demo, you ain't doing it right. Right? Think about this. This prospect has been working with agencies for however many years. That right there, that is your fertile ground. Why? Because they have something to compare it to. I've been paying these agencies $2,000 a month. They charge me $500 extra per campaign I run. To change things, it takes, 24 to 48 hours. All of these things, these are all like standard pain points. Am I still sharing that screen by the way? No. These are all standard pain points that people have to deal with. And in a single demonstration, boom, wow, right? Obviously that lady bought. So what did you guys notice just about the demo and how I made it emotional and maybe even logical a little bit, an 80-20? What did you notice? I'm really good at the silent game. I beat my kids all the time.
Just super simple.
Super simple. It's like Legos, right? I was like, see this launch button? And then you'll notice, okay, here's one thing to think about. You'll notice I use the search bar. Why do you think I use the search bar to find the campaign in the demo instead of just like surfing through all the different categories? Why do you think that? Because the entire conversation leading up to that point had been about her clinic wanting one thing: more neuropathy patients. So why would I confuse her and say, oh, we can get you knee patients, we can get you chiropractic patients, we can get you all of these different things? Why would I confuse her with that if the one thing she wanted was more qualified neuropathy patients? And by the way, every time I did a demo, I always did it like that. Now for you guys, if I'm giving you guys a demo of UpHex, I'm going to say, see these categories? Because I want you to see, hey, I can put categories into my agency. But for them, the end user, I'm like, you only want neuropathy patients. We're not here to talk about like all this other crap. Let's focus on this one thing. See how you see how that works?
So did you have any interaction with her beforehand, or was that your first meeting with her?
That was my first meeting with her.
Okay, so you guys had good rapport out of the gate. You didn't have 6 previous calls to get her to
never
like
one call close.
Okay.
One call close. If you do that genie pitch deck the right way, it should be a one call close. Now, I will say this. I am not a high pressure salesperson either. All right. And so I personally break a lot of the rules that salespeople will tell you, oh, don't do that. So for example, at the end, and if you go watch that entire video, which on YouTube for the replay of this, I will link the entire video in the description. But if you go watch the entire video, which is in Lead Gen U, you will see that I go through all of the steps. And then at the end, I do add urgency and scarcity because that is a really important part to make them make a decision. But I don't pressure them like, you got to buy right now. I don't do that. And it never hurt my conversion rates. What I mean by that is I'd say, hey, I don't know if you guys, so I use this thing where I say, hey, people are generally in 1 and 2 buckets. I want to learn more and just like learn forever, or I want to know what the next steps are. Which bucket are you in? So I ask them to tell me if they're a buyer or if they're a seeker. And everybody goes, oh, what are the next steps? Right? If you ask it in that way, I've always felt like I'm not closing the sale. I'm just asking you, how can I serve you? What camp are you in? The wait around camp or the I want to know what's next? Now I want to buy. Notice I'm not buy. I didn't say you want to buy. Just tell me what's next. Right? And for me, that goes back to where we started in today's meeting. Sell the thing that sells the thing. I'm always thinking about where am I at right now? What is the thing I have to sell before I can sell the thing I want to sell? Right? It's a really good question, Mike, because at the end of this, so when I transitioned from demo, then I got my guarantee next. And by the way, it's not a guarantee like everybody else does a guarantee. Then I got my transition, then I got my close. My transition is more important than my close because I don't want them to go to that last step and feel like this was a pressured phone call the entire time. One, that's not my brand. That's not my personality, right? It's like, I'm doing this thing. I'm a trusted person. You can trust me. And by the way, if you find out for some reason that you can't trust me, I'll give you your money back. So there's no risk. And you all should approach it that way, by the way, because you all take payments from credit cards. You all are, that's the guarantee you give them. You can't get around it. If somebody wants a chargeback, they're going to get it and you're not going to win. So just be cool. Just like, treat them the way you would want to be treated. If Isabel just bought MVP a week ago. If Isabel bought MVP a week ago and when she got in there, it was like, Sam this is not, she should get her money back. Yes or no? Yes. But it is, Isabel, it is what I told you it is, and probably more, I hope.
Absolutely. I'm loving it. There's so much value already. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the point, right? So transition, I want to say, which bucket are you in? The think about it and learn more, or what are the next steps? Not do you want to buy? What are the next steps? Right? Because we talk about, I don't want to get going so fast. My brain kind of works like this. I don't want to be going so fast that we skip around, but demo, transition, then what is the last part? It's not the close. It's the proposition. The proposition. It's a dynamic conversation. And what I mean by that is it's not one lever I pull and that means that's the close. No, it's a proposition. It's terms, it's conditions, it's money, it's outcomes. It's all of these different components coming together in a bundle at the end where I say, between emotion and logic, this makes sense for you. You can't lose. Nobody that works with me will ever lose. If you buy my products, my products or my education, and it doesn't do what I say, get your money back. It's that easy. Or use it, get the outcome, get the education, get the whatever I promised you in that thing, get that. So it's a win. You win when you work with me. And you need to approach your prospect with that authenticity. And authenticity means authentic, by the way. I don't fake anything, nothing. I'm this, I'm hat in hand, right? Hat in hand, you get what you see. Let's go back to the demo. The demo is where you show, hey, if I put my butt in this seat and I push the same buttons that Sam just pushed, I'll get the outcome that Sam just told me through this conversation. Do I want the outcome? That's the real question, right? So the point of a demo is to say, I've told you you can get a specific type of outcome. Now I've demonstrated, not told, demonstrated, not told, demonstrated, not what? Come on, there's 4 of you. You guys can all say it in unit, or there's 5. There's a sneaky guess, whoever that is. Demonstrated, not what? Told. Why? Why demonstration? Demonstration is the most valuable form of proof. Everybody thinks when we say proof, it's testimonials. No, there's a lot of different kinds of proof. Have you gotten to that section in MVP yet, Isabel? Non-proof proof? We have an entire section on non-proof proof in MVP. There's a lot of different ways to prove you're credible without giving a testimonial. Make sense? So the question is, how do you get more demos like that? What do you need to do to sell the thing that will sell that demo? That's the question. To which I put it on you, the community, to ask me how to do that and to figure it out for yourself so we can have a learning experience. You guys want to learn stuff, or you want me to spoon feed you stuff? Learn, right? Yes. All right. Well, Anish, Mike, John, Isabel, and guest, the lovely guest. Hey, who's the best guest ever? The guest. What questions do you have of me? And I realize I kind of preface that in a very not friendly question environment, but go ahead, ask whatever questions you may think you have.
I would love to go first.
Go ahead, Anish.
Perfect. So I have 2 questions. So my first question would be, do you include any pain points in your cold email prospecting to get the demo?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
It's basically like the whole thing. Now, here's the problem with doing that. I'm searching for a metaphor. You ever met a person and they come up and they seem like really interested in you, but you can tell that it's like there's something fishy. Like it's like, this feels weird. This feels slimy.
You're just
Like,
fake.
you know, it feels fake. Yes.
Yeah.
You ever had that experience?
All the time. I thought I just didn't like people. That's all it was.
No, this is human nature. You can tell they want something from you, you know, and we all want something from each other. That's fine. But it's how you approach it. And there are ways to approach people to where you could create a win-win environment that totally works. But let's go back to that. I'm glad I couldn't put my finger on it, Mike, but you nailed it. It feels fake. It feels superficial. Okay. So think about this using the word depth. The reason that it feels fake and superficial is because they basically gathered, people do this to me all the time, by the way. They'll like message me. They'll be, hey, how's your agency? I'm like, dude, I sold my agency like a couple months ago. I don't have any. And they'll message me superficial things. Like you can tell they did 30 seconds of research. They want something from me, right? You write emails like that, nothing. Not going to work. Okay. But if you're genuinely interested and informed about a prospect and a niche, then that's the recipe for sending cold email. That is really awesome. And by the way, we have a gal in MVP right now getting like 40 to 50% open rates from cold email from doing that the right way. And I love her, but she's not like a technical savant. She's just talking to people the right way. Y'all kind of, and I'm not any different. I do this too. Y'all default to thinking, oh, there's some kind of cyber space crap happening. No, it's people talking to people. That's what it is. People talking to people. Right? So to answer your question, Anish, absolutely.
So
It's the
to
degree
give,
to the accuracy of your pain that you speak.
so I'm helping like realtors with this Facebook ad campaign and to get buyer leads. So what should I like write in cold emails? Just some kind of example.
What do you guys think I'm going to say right now? Those of you that have been coming, I know Isabel and John, you guys have been coming. Vanessa, you've been coming. Mike, I've seen you before. What do you think I'm going to say? Say one more time. Let's tee this up. Say it one more time. Who you're helping and what you're helping them with.
I'm helping realtors to get buyer leads on autopilot.
So basically, you're helping an entire category of real estate agents get a thing that all of them want. Is that right? Do you see any problem with that? I don't know, Anish, I'm kind of putting you on the spot. This is your first like encounter with Sam, by the way? I'm a little
Yeah.
blunt. This is how I roll, buddy.
Oh, that's good.
It's too big of a market, dude. It's too big of a market.
Mhm.
You can't have it. I mean, you're going to come off as fake because it's impossible for you to go deep. By the very nature of the way you're approaching this group of people, which is a category, you're not even in a niche. That's not a niche. So there's category, niche, sub niche. By the very nature that you're approaching a category of the market, you will never be able to speak to them in a unique enough way to get their attention. Now, if I were to say, all right, hey, we're in a market right now where, and I'm not well informed on real estate, but I'm just going to pull this out of my butt for an example. All right. We're in a section of the market where now seller agents are not getting compensated by law anymore. So that's up in the air. That means listing agents, the best listing agents, are going to get all of the business. And the best listing agents are going to be really good at one really important thing. What would that be? Open houses. All right. Well, before I had all of these seller agents bringing people to my open houses. Now I don't got that because they're not getting paid. My open houses are empty. What would, as an agency, what would my message to the market be? Are your empty houses getting, are they empty? Is nobody showing up? Here's some marketing campaigns. I've done some research to show what's working now and how to fill those without buyer's agents. By the way, if you can fill your open house and the listing agent down the street can't, who's going to get all the business? Give me a call. Sell the thing that sells the thing. Now, so break it apart. Real estate agents working with sellers, specifically niche down to one type of selling funnel, which is open houses. Boom. All of a sudden, because of the specificity alone, my value proposition is clear. And I can speak to pain points a lot easier. 4 Ps. Remember what the 4 Ps are? Anybody? Anybody? Problem, promise, proof, proposition. Those are the 4 P's of persuasion. But they have a very important word in front of every single one of them. Remember what that word is?
Unique.
Unique promise. What's that?
Unique.
John. Unique problem, unique promise, unique proof, unique proposition. Sit around with that word unique for the entire week. Find out what it means. By the way, words are powerful. If you don't really sit down and find out what they mean, like for example, people talk about offers. Dude, I studied offers for the better part of 4 years. That one thing. And so Russell Brunson lives across the street from me here, and hung out with
Nice.
him a couple of times. And, you know, I remember when I was getting started with UpHex, I have some messages between he and I was asking him about offers and webinars. I said, dude, tell me, I think this is what I know, but what do you think about that? And he was kind of, there, it was just me and him. And so he'd be very like hat in hand, right? Again, the dude lives, I see him at the gas station. Very nice guy. By the way, everybody that talks crap about ClickFunnels are a bunch of hypocrites, because every single person that's talking in Highlevel, they all got their start from him. They all learned from him. So you can talk as much crap as you want, but don't forget, like, what's the phrase, Mike? Go with the one who brought you, which means that don't
forget
throw
the hand who
shade
fed
at
you.
what's that?
Don't forget the hand who fed you.
That's right. But don't throw shade at somebody that's done a ton for you, for the community. You won't ever hear me talking crap about those guys. And it's not because he lives across the street. It's because he's a G. He knows more about like marketing, offers, digital marketing, sales, all that stuff than pretty much almost anybody I know. Almost anybody I know. So we're getting off track. I was talking about words matter, right? Offers matter. I studied offers for the better part of 4 years because I knew if I could figure out how to make an offer and how to make it fly every time, I could make it in this business. If I could do that one thing, I could make it in this business. So I took courses. I read books. I asked questions. I went to masterminds, and my questions were always around offers, 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 offers.
So how much do you try to convince the unconvincible? Anish and I are kind of in the same arena with real estate, and real estate agents will argue with you that Facebook ads don't work. We've tried it before. We've spent thousands, truck tons of money with agencies, and Facebook ads don't necessarily work. And so what do you, I mean, I've always said you can't convince an unconvincible, only data and time can. And so do you put a lot of energy into trying to convince an unconvincible, or do you just say next and move on?
So that comes in analyzing why that's happening. So, and I've been here before. I can tell you exactly why this is happening. This is going to be a fun little exercise. All right. So you get in a scenario and you feel like right out of the gate, they have nothing but rebuttals for you.
Oh, it's
Sound about right?
anger. I mean, it's anger and nasty in some cases, which is fun for me. I personally get a kick out of it, but I think you can only take your full of shit, 7 times a day before you start to get pissed and fight back. But I just want to know, from your perspective, doing this as much as you have, do you waste that energy trying to convince an unconvincible, or do you just, what would be your approach?
I don't get into those conversations. They don't happen to me. I engineer situations where that doesn't happen to me. So how do you do that? Why is it happening? When you have something to be compared to, there's an opinion about you. Assumption is the enemy of conversions. Okay. So for example, and we talked about unique. I would say, so can you give me an example of some of the things that they say to you where like they're belligerent about it? And like, just give me 2.
Well, I think that from the conversations that I've had, there's the surface Facebook ad history in the real estate community where you run an ad that says get a list, and anybody can get a list from Zillow, Trulia, Redfin. There's no rocket science between getting a list. That's because the NAR sold their data feed and they really screwed their people. And so when you try to drill down and say, well, we don't just run ads to create lists, we run ads to create a specific type of buyer. And Anish, this might help you out a little bit. For example, the conversation that we're trying to go with is our sales funnel that we're trying to create buyers around it's a little bit different because you're going to opt in to get a list of all the properties where the owner has agreed to do a 2-1 buy down. And Sam, you'll understand what that is coming from the mortgage business. So instead of just saying, hey, you're going to get a list of all the homes in my town is Salt Lake City, you're going to get a list of homes in Salt Lake City. You're going to get a list of all the homes where the seller has raised their hand and said, hey, we'll go ahead and do a 2-1 buy down. And from there, that conversation just, it goes sideways with, well, I've ran Facebook ads before. I've paid an agency $10,000. They got me a bunch of crap. It was nothing. The leads are all terrible. Blah, 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 blah. And so there's part of me that's like, hey, let's fight because I like to argue. And then there's part of me that's like, I don't know if I really want to, realign my chi and waste my day with this
Harness
idiot.
your chi, bro. Harness your chi.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I was just curious from your perspective. There's 1 point something million realtors across the country, and I can't convince everybody, and I can't convince an unconvincible. But from your perspective, what is the great?
There's a really easy formula. I'll give you a quick example. How did Eminem do it? How did Eminem win every rap battle?
Oh, something about put your hand in the air if you're from the 313. Oh, your motherfucking.
No, he just told them. He said, "I do live in a trailer park. I do live with my mom. I do." Right?
I do have a friend named Cheddar Bob.
There you go. It's like all you do is you take away their ammo. You say, you know what? You actually started the very first, when I said, they can all get a list from Zillow. They can all get a blah, blah, blah. All that stuff you said, I would say, Mike, let me ask you a question. Have you ever wondered why, whenever you speak with an agency, it feels like all they do is get you a list from Zillow. All they do is blah, 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 ta, 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 ta. If I pre-frame my entire conversation like that, and I say all of the stuff that they're going to complain about before I get in that, then what have I taken away?
Taking away a lot of their ammo.
I've taken away their assumptions. Now they have no assumptions. Now they're a blank slate, and I get to put on that slate whatever I want. Human psychology, and once again, unique promise, unique problem, unique. This is in, not to be pitching MVP, but in MVP, the reason I built the entire program from the very first video until the last video as a formula and in a chronological order was because of the exact situations that you are getting in. And I've been in all of them. And I'm like, well, how did I solve that? If you go back, this call today was showing you my demo. If you go into my pitch deck and you go through the first 10, 15 minutes, what am I doing? Taking away their ammo. I'm just taking it away. I'm like, nope, nope, nope. In fact, people buy from those who will throw rocks at their enemies, justify their failures. What's the rest of the thing? You know what I'm talking about? I never forget. But those are the two important ones. If I started throwing shade at all the stuff that they hate too, they're like, dude, this guy's like me. He hates the same things I hate. We friends? Yes, we're friends. Dude, I stopped getting those kind of conversations a long time ago because I just take it away. And you can't do that without two things. One, a specific market like subniche that I was telling Anish about. And then two, knowing what the ammo is in the first place, knowing what the assumptions are. Take them away.
So
Good question. Go ahead.
Second question. So if you have like all the automations for emails and SMS to follow up with the lead, things like that. So if you have that, do you explain that in the demo or not?
Say that one more time. I didn't understand the question.
So I have created a form through UpHex and then connected with my Go Highlevel with all the automations to follow up SMS, emails, and everything. Right. So do I explain those complicated things to my prospect or no, or just stop it till the 3-step?
So you want to know if you articulate all of the automations that you have built into your platform once, like on a demo call? Is that what you're asking?
Mhm.
No. Absolutely not. That'll kill your sales faster than anything. They don't care. They don't give a flying fart. They care about outcomes. So the question is, how do you tell them what you want to tell them? Because there is some validity, like in their heads, they have an objection. So think of objections like this. Think of objections like a checklist. Okay. And in their head, an objection lives as a what? As a question. Okay. So what is the checklist of questions in their heads? What's the checklist? Like literally write them all out. And then as you're going through, so you talked about lead nurture. What problem does all the automations and all that crap, what problem does it solve?
To follow up basically that.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna stop you. I'll just go off of basic, right? So I would say, you know how like when you've run marketing campaigns in the past and you maybe have gotten 50 to 100 leads in a month? Have you ever wondered what happens to those leads if they don't buy? You ever wonder what happens? Nothing. You want to know why? Because most businesses never send anything to follow up. Do you know how many times you have to follow up to make more money on your marketing? And when I say more, I'm talking about 4 times more. What if you could make 4 times more on your marketing? Do you know how many times you have to follow up? 8 to 12. So let me ask you this, Anish. How many times in the past on your other marketing stuff have you followed up? Has it been 8 to 12 times? No, right? Don't worry about it. We built into our system automated follow-up so that when it comes to that pool of leads that you will pay for every single month, it doesn't just grow for nothing. In fact, we're going to use all of that automation, all that fancy stuff that you don't have to set up to fish out of the prospecting pool forever. And so where we start in month 1 and where we end up maybe at the end of this year is going to be completely different. What if at the end of the year you had 1,500 qualified prospects to reach back out to without any ad money and get more sales for free? How cool would that be? Don't worry, we've taken care of it in our entire system, right? Because getting leads is great, but we want sales. Do you want sales? So the system has to address both of those things, leads and sales. Do you agree? Awesome. We agree. Leads, sales. I just distill it down to the thing they want. I don't spend tons. So we have a timed 24-hour clock, and then this email fires off, and then no. But you'll know, like, and this is every entrepreneur has this deficit. We want to talk about our thing oh so bad. Talk about your thing. That's the recipe today. Go ahead. Talk about your whiz bang 4,000. It's going to be, I'm so excited about it. It's really interesting for me to hear about how many automations and how long it took for you to set that up. And the developer in Dubai that you paid $5 kajillion to set it up for. I'm so interested in this. I think I got tea time. hit in like 30 minutes. Can we cut this short? Let's go. Right? It goes back to
One
the
more.
proverbial, you got to think like a fish. Not
Okay,
like the fish.
so I'm at 0 clients right now, Sam, and I just joined UpHex. I'm a paid member now. So I was going through the website and I found the Lead Gen U. It's like a free course to
Yep.
go through. Do you suggest me anything else to?
I would suggest to you that one, you go through Lead Gen U. I think the entire program is like 8 hours. So it's not a lot. And then if you want to really get ahead faster, join MVP. All right. MVP is our paid program. It's like a coaching mentorship program. It's on demand. Both John and Isabel are in there.
Yeah, I have signed up for that as well.
Oh, you're signed up in it. You're in MVP?
Yeah, like it said some waiting list and then join, things like that. So just put your name, number, email, that's it.
Okay. Well, you have to buy it. If you want, you can send me a message. It's $2,000.
Okay.
But it's no guess. It's building blocks. It's like start here, finish here, business. Right? If you go through the program, and follow the steps, you should be able to build an agency that gets clients. And most of the time, it's not that you're bad at sales. I used to think that you had to be really good at sales to sell. That was until I started seeing people who were like terrible. Like I could tell as not terrible people, but terrible communicators. When they started closing sales using the stuff that we have in MVP, I'm like, we're doing something right. Because these people, I don't want to judge a book by its cover, but they should not be good at sales. However, by following this, they all of a sudden are making sales, right? And by the way, every single person, I've always been good at talking to people, so I could always sell. But I never knew like how to sell. Like I never took a course on selling. I looked at videos and different things, just a lot of study, right? But I see why human psychology is wired in such a way to make everyone want to talk about their thing. And that's the thing that will kill every sales message, all of them, right? And I also see the half-life of high pressure sales tactics. That doesn't work either. That's like a crash diet. You know what I mean? You get some revenue, but long term, that don't work. So yeah, I would say in terms of getting your shortcut, go into MVP and get after it. I mean, Isabel joined last week. How much of MVP have you gone through already?
I think I'm at the end of week 2. But I was
Good
just
job.
gonna say, like, it takes out so much of the guesswork. Like, me and my brother have had an agency for over a year now, and like, you just have to trial and error if you don't have a mentor or like a course like this. So I would also highly recommend, especially if you're like new to the agency space. Sam's just incredibly knowledgeable, and even these calls. I mean, I started off like doing maybe a month of these calls before I bought MVP. So just coming on here and like trying to gain knowledge, definitely a good move.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's to Isabel's credit. She bought the program, went right into it, and started taking it. And she has been coming to these, asking really good questions. So she's gonna be a rock star. Like it's for her, it's like, are you gonna be a rock star in 2, 3, 4 months, or a year to 2 years? I didn't have anybody to show me this, so it took me a while to get my stuff together. You know what I mean? But since I've kind of gone through it, I can go back and say, okay, before you do this thing, in fact, we don't touch software until week 4. So before you can do this, you have to go through these different steps, right? And then you can, I mean, it's so funny. People get like offer confusion, product confusion, and it's because they're touching their products and making their offers before they know who and how and why and what is involved in this. And it can't be surface level. It can't be surface level. And everybody tells you that it can be. And because they tell you, speak to their pain points, and they use this very generic, thin language, you're stuck thinking, oh, that's the thing. That's where I need to be. It is not deep enough. It does not connect with people enough. And people who are connected will convert. And they will convert easily, by the way, without all the tactics. You know what I mean? And when I go through, when I talk about qualified buyers and all that kind of stuff, I genuinely mean if they're a fit, I feel great about selling them the stuff I create. But if they're not a fit, like if Isabel was like, I want to do, I don't know, like some type of model, like for example, I want to build a big bloated 7-figure agency model. I'll be like, don't take MVP. That's not what we're doing. Like, I don't want 30 employees. I don't want like a bloated, like huge software stack. I don't want a ton of overhead. I don't want a ton of, I'm not interested in revenue. I'm only interested in profit margins and simplicity and a good lifestyle. Quite frankly, the agency, I mean, you can work from anywhere. Isabel's at some kind of coffee shop right now or something, right? You can work anywhere doing this. I was just in Boston. I was writing email and doing stuff for this because the lifestyle that it affords you. So there's really great things, but there's a lot of things that people do predictably, by the way. There's patterns that almost every agency owner does. And if they can sell a bunch of clients, I know you're pre-clients right now, but sometimes getting clients is even worse. Daniel tore down his entire agency. He had 200 and like, that dude just entirely jumped ship. 220 clients, I think. He was like, oh, this is a nightmare. Got out, started from grade one. I didn't have to do that, but it does happen. Awesome. Okay. We're at 5 minutes to the hour. I can stick around for 5 more minutes. I will put a replay of this one. There will be a replay on this one, only because I feel like the demo part is widely misunderstood. I've seen a lot of people doing it wrong. I carved out just this 1 3-minute chunk to show it's building blocks. We got to keep these things simple, right? And dude, I would close in the high 80% when I was doing demo calls, right? That doesn't mean that duplicating sales, you should expect those numbers, but with a good demo, a good deck, a good offer, you should absolutely scale them. Any other questions?
And what would be the difference with a webinar approach as opposed to the demo approach? Obviously, you're going to be giving more content, it seems, on a webinar, and you're not one-to-one.
Well, why do you have to give more content?
Yeah, okay.
No, genuinely. So, okay. John, if you and I are on a one-on-one, I can adapt and figure out your exact needs. But if I'm talking to all of you guys, I have to address Mike, Isabel, Anish, and you collectively in a way to where all of you can abandon false ideas and adopt my new ideas, right? It takes a lot more skill to do that, which is why I always say you do your demo, your one-on-ones for a long time. I don't like it when people say, do them for a year. I'm like, that's so arbitrary. What if I do 100 in a day, right? If I do 100 in a year, 100 in a day, I'm accomplishing the same volume. So I'm not going to give you a number, but I'm saying I've done enough of my pitch deck that same pitch deck actually morphed over time to be so specific that I could give that exact pitch deck as a webinar. It doesn't have to be the Russell Brunson 3-step, value stack, all that kind of stuff. We're selling services at the end of the day. So we're not selling like $1,000 product at the end. I would encourage you to avoid the urge to get out of the sales cycle. Everybody wants to get out of the sales cycle as quickly as possible. They want to get artificial intelligence to walk people through a call and then it makes the sales. They want to like sell one to many on a webinar, which I think that's the ultimate, quite frankly. But then they just want to put that on a replay. And I think live is going to outperform a replay all day, every day. Right. So it's just doing the right things. But yeah, a demo call, if you do it long enough, you will speak to enough people within your sub niche to where and I get done with the demo call. I'm like, okay, I didn't feel great about this part. I'll write it down. Be like, if I made a claim and I didn't back it up with proof, I need to do that. Whenever I make a claim, I back it up with proof. Just depends on what kind of proof. All right. Because there's always a calculation happening in the brain of the prospect. They're like, okay, claim. Immediately they have an opinion on it. Immediately. And I have to know what the assumption of that opinion is. Then I take it away. So I personally, as I went down the road to my agency, I would do webinars and I would vary between webinar, pitch a free 14-day trial at the end, to webinar, pitch a demo call with me. Now, because they had been on a webinar, that demo call was about 20 minutes instead of 45. Okay. But it's all about what they know. How much do they know about you? How much do they know about your offer? And if they sit through a webinar and you say, hey, try this thing out for free for 14 days. No harm, no foul. They're like, oh, dude, we converted 85% trials, like a 14-day free trial, to customers. And the reasons we wouldn't convert people, the reason we didn't convert 100% was generally not because of us. It was something that like their ad account had been shut down or their this or that or whatever. You know, they had internal reasons where legitimately they couldn't work with us. And should that have precluded them from doing a trial? Yeah, probably. But you know, we're fishing with a net. Sometimes you get a boot. Okay. It is 12:01. Here's my final call to action. On Thursday, you may have either gotten an email or seen the post in the Facebook group. We have a rebilling workshop. UpHex now has a rebilling feature that we just rolled out. It's been in beta for a little bit. We're rolling it out, and I'm going to walk you guys through on Thursday, A, how to use it, and then B, how to use it strategically, right? Because traditionally, I've been kind of against the charging based on ad spend or rebilling. I don't ethically like some of the reasons that agencies do it. And so I kind of, when the team brought the suggestion, I was like, you're going to have to address this, and this. I don't like it. And again, I can't just sit here and like act like, oh, look at this awesome feature. It's going to make me more money. No, it's got to be like genuinely better. Right. And we're not charging any like Highlevel has a rebilling, like they have the rebilling thing, but they charge a percentage. We're not charging a percentage. All right. It's a feature. It's awesome. It's included at our two top tiers. So yeah, it's going to be awesome. So come to that, get registered for that workshop. I think there's going to be a couple of really cool, ways to add more depth to your agency while still keeping things simple. All right. Thanks. Thanks everybody for showing up. By the way, if you want to, if you're interested in MVP, send me a message directly. So just friend me on, or you're already, whatever, message me on Facebook and I can answer any questions, send you whatever info you need. Awesome. Thanks guys.
Thanks, Sam.
Thanks, Sam.
See you later.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Sam.